Hello, welcome everybody. I'm going live now and wanted to welcome you all along. So my name is Michelle Darby and thank you for joining me today. And today we're going to be cooking the fish fingers, and these are a toddler friendly fish finger. And it's easy to make and they're healthy options and you can freeze them. So they're lovely little addition to make for your family. So you don't know all sorts of things that could be inside those other fish fingers. And I thought, well, I might make them and keep them in our freezer so that it's easy to bring out when we want to have something to cook. All right, so I'm just seeing if everything's working fine. I'm trying to see it on here we go, on the camera there as well. Yes, I can see those love hearts. So all is good. I've got to have to turn the volume down on this one. Sorry, I've got for your family. We've got backing sound. So sorry, I've got my other camera there in the background so that I can see if any other comments come through, because I can't always see that on the main screen. So, I just made that smaller. Okay, so let's get into it. So I have already popped the recipe once again into my cookie dough. So this one is called a crunchy fish finger for 9 months plus. So it's a good one for toddlers. So toddlers can sometimes have some challenges with what they want to eat. So this is another good one. So I also work in a childcare centre and know that can be sometimes a bit of an issue. So we're going to make these lovely fish fingers, and they're crunchy so that you can fry them, shallow fry them later, or however you choose to do. So we're going to bring that recipe up so you can see the lovely big screen here on the TM7, and we're going to go through the ingredients and make sure that we have everything out first. So this one has Parmesan cheese, panko breadcrumbs, boneless skinless fish fillets. So I've used basa and cut into 3 centimetres pieces. So I've got those all ready cut for you here like this. Some fresh flat leaf parsley, 1 sprig. So I've got a little bit of those there from my garden. Some tomato sauce, plain flour to dust, an egg that we'll be dipping in, and then we'll have that panko mix that we will pop that into as well. I'm going to be using gloves when I'm using, I don't have blue gloves that you're supposed to use when you're with food. So I'm at home here at the moment. I've got some yellow gloves because I don't want to getting up my fingernails. So that's how I'm going to do that. So just bear that in mind when I go through. So yes, I'm a consultant here in Brisbane, Australia. And I like doing Thermomix and taking the pressure off cooking for people at home. So when you cook at home, you definitely save money and you know what's going into your food. So first off, we're going to place some Parmesan cheese. So it mentions it in 2 wedges. I don't have the wedges. I've already got some pre-cut ones, but it's going to make that a lot finer. So when it grates it up, it'll be spread nicely into the rest of the mixture. So the next time I go shopping, I will probably buy a bigger block and then I can make my own. So we're ticking that because I've gone over, and then we go next. So it's going to grate the cheese. So the Parmesan grates nicely. It's a nice hard cheese. That counts down as we go along, and then it tells us that we're ready. So what are some of the things that you like to cook in your Thermomix, or some of the things you'd like to see cooked? We can definitely do that along together. And then we're going next. So it says to add the panko breadcrumbs. Oops, I should have left that on there because it's going to weigh that in. So it says 50 grams. I have actually already weighed that out. I've got mine here in this particular bowl. I've gone a little bit more because I have a little bit more fish. That was what was left in my, so you can in the container that I had. So we're going around, and we're going to go around in a clockwise direction so that we don't get the blades to cutting our lovely large spatula that we get when you buy a TM7. So then we've said we've done that. We'll go next. So now, so it says to mix them up and set aside. Place on a plate and set aside. So I'm going to put that all on here. Tip it down. Get the last little bits. Where's my spatula gone? So we'll be rolling our fish in that once we get our consistency put together. So this is quite a quick recipe. Pop that on. So we need to make sure that the handle faces the front. That's the way that it always works. Put my dishes to the side. All right, now we're putting in our fish. It says to cut it into 3 centimetre pieces, so I've roughly cut those in. I've got some paper towel on the bottom of mine to soak up some of that liquid, because this was frozen fish. Oh, so I will actually have to cook that up now that I think about that. Can't refreeze it again, but that's okay. So we'll cook it up and freeze it. So now it's asking for that parsley. So that was a really good point to make. You can't freeze, defrost meat and then refreeze it again. That's a health hazard. So I will be cooking these up and then freezing them again. That's okay once it's been cooked. Okay, so the parsley, pop that in. You could add any other flavours into this as well that you wanted. If you wanted to make it a little bit, because it's for toddlers, we're keeping it nice and simple. And then we're putting a tablespoon of tomato sauce. Kids love tomato sauce. Pretty much if you add that to anything, they'll eat it. Does have some extra sugars, so you can make your own. Just think about that as well. Okay, so that's almost all that we'll be pretty much doing for this recipe, bringing it together. So then, yes, we have done that, and we're going next. So then it asks to put the lid on and blend that for 10 seconds. This is where you clean down your bench. So yes, we've done that. So we're going to have a look and see in the top what that looks like now. So it's turned it into a paste. So that makes it easier for little toddlers to consume. So I'm going to pop this on another little plate because it's easier for me then to scoop out. So you can see how it turns it into a nice paste, which we're going to then put my gloves on, and then we're going to follow the process then for crumbing them. So I'll bring them up so you can see in the mirror, in the camera, and then I'm going to get all of that out onto my plate. And this would be a nice easy dinner, fish, chips and salad. For any occasion. Nice Friday night. Fake away Friday. Fish and chips at the shops is getting quite expensive. So this is a nice, quick and easy little option for you. As I said, so we're making this ahead of time. So it saves the time on the Friday when you're not feeling necessarily like cooking. So I'm going to then put this on for a wash. Get the last of that out there. Put some water in my bowl. So we always like to take advantage of the pre-clean function on our Thermomix. So water, detergent, and I often put a little bit of vinegar in there as well. That helps clean the bowl and get the excess fats off. Just a drop of all everyday ordinary vinegar. Put that there. So we're going to go next, and it's telling us to put this into, oops, I'm going to get my gloves on, 3 tablespoons full of flour onto a plate. Oh, hang on. I'm not reading that properly. So we've got our flour. You next. Then we're going to have our eggs into this one, and then our breadcrumbs. So this can get rather sticky. Next. And then we're going to shape them 5 centimetres apart and dip them as we go. Crack my egg. Lightly whisk that. That'll be our egg wash. I can always do another one if I need to, so I've got the extra one there in case I need it. Okay, so dust, we're going to make them into our portions. Got a tablespoon here, so you could make these into balls or you could make them into fingers. Depends how we want them to look. You could make them into a log. They could be good for turning them into fish tacos. Pop it there. And that's what we're going to do. So I'll just do a few of these and then you can see what that's going to look like, and then I'll finish the rest off, and that's how quick and easy it is. So this was just a nice little easy cook along for us today. It didn't even last almost half an hour, or has just nearly. Then dust them in the flour, dip in the egg, coat with the breadcrumbs, and then we'll go. So I'm going to take this off, leave that to the side. I'm going to get my tongs to make it a little bit easier for me. Would help if I had the process in the right order. So it depends how icky you want to get. Dusting in the flour. Then we're dropping it into the egg mix. Once it's got the flour, it does make it a little bit easier to shape. So as big or as little as you like, especially for toddlers, they don't want big ones. And then into the bread mix. Probably should have got a different set of tongs for that. It just means you're keeping the excess off. Okay, so then, I better should come over here so you can see what I'm doing. It's going too far over and forgetting that the camera can't be seen there. Rolling it in its breadcrumbs. And then that's it. Take my glove off. So that's my fish finger. Now it's definitely easier to get the shape happening now that it's got all that on there. So you can see that is my stumpy looking, almost perfect, but not quite because it's a home cooked job, fish finger. So I'll be putting them on a tray over here. So they'll all go on there when they're ready, and that's how we're going to do it. So thank you for coming along. Any questions? So we've got lovely offers at the moment with Thermomix. You can also earn your Thermomix. Great opportunity. That's how I did mine. It's always a lot of fun. So many cooking options there. Cookie Doo has lots and lots of recipes that you can have. All right, so I'm going to finish up there, clean up, and thank you for joining me for toddler-friendly fish fingers and seeing how easy that is. So now I'll finish off. So thank you once again for coming along. Michelle Darby, Thermomix consultant here in Brisbane, Australia. Reach out if you'd like to know more about a Thermomix, or if you're ready to buy. I'd love to support you and be your consultant. I'm certainly trying to earn my next valuable option of earning a Thermomix. If I'm able to do that, that'd be lovely, and I'd love to support you. So bye for now. Have a great day.